Hello, how are you all? I hope you are doing well by the grace of Almighty God. Thank you for watching Ninja Animations. I want to apologize to you all for the fact that I post very few videos on this channel. The workload is so overwhelming, and I receive so many emails that it often becomes a bit difficult for me to manage everything. That's why there are very few videos on this channel. However, I need your support, after God's support, of course. Today's topic is one from which you will learn a lot, and the questions that might be on your mind will be answered in great detail today. You will find it much easier to understand. In today's episode, we will be discussing why it is that people suddenly start ignoring us. At first, they are very friendly with us. They talk to us, meet with us, and we have a good relationship with them. But then, what happens all of a sudden that makes them start ignoring us? They stop talking to us and stop meeting us. In this episode, you will get detailed answers to all these questions, and it will make many things much easier for you to understand. But before we start today's episode, let's see what God has to say about this topic. Even when others ignore or abandon us, God is always with us. In Isaiah 41:10, God says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." In John 15:18-19, he said, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belonged to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you." Now let's start this video and watch it together, see what happened in this. Welcome to today's episode. We're tackling a subject that many can relate to. Why do people start ignoring you, especially when you begin to grow and succeed? Our guest, Smith, is here to help us explore this. Welcome, Smith. Thanks, Leo. It's an important topic that many people face, often without understanding why. Smith, let's start with the basics. Why do people often stay connected when you're on the same level, but start ignoring you once you begin to grow? People feel secure when they view you as an equal or someone they can direct. Growth disrupts this dynamic, making them feel insecure or threatened. Could this be tied to the idea that people are comfortable with the familiar? Absolutely. Familiarity breeds comfort. When you grow, it introduces change, which can be unsettling for others. How do these feelings manifest in relationships? They manifest as jealousy, resentment, or a superiority complex. People might start to ignore you or withdraw from the relationship. What role does envy play in this scenario? Envy is a significant factor. It stems from insecurity. As Proverbs 14:30 says, "A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones." Envy can erode relationships. Why do some people find it hard to celebrate others' success? It's difficult because it forces them to confront their own lack of progress or unfulfilled potential. Can this lead to a sense of competition? Yes, instead of support, they might view your success as a threat and engage in silent competition. How does this silent competition affect the relationship? It creates tension and can lead to them distancing themselves or ignoring you altogether. What are some signs that someone is becoming envious? They might downplay your achievements, avoid discussing your success, or start minimizing your worth. Is it possible to salvage a relationship affected by envy? It's possible, but it requires open communication and a willingness from both parties to address the underlying issues. If a Science 431-32 advises, get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as God forgave you. Let's talk about the superiority complex. How does it factor into why people start ignoring you? A superiority complex is a shelter mechanism. When people feel superior, they're comfortable. But when your growth challenges their perceived superiority, they might react negatively. Why do people develop a superiority complex in the first place? It often develops from insecurity. By feeling superior, they protect themselves from their own perceived inadequacies. How does this complex impact relationships? It creates an imbalance. The person with the complex may try to control or dominate the relationship, and when they can't, they may withdraw. Can a superiority complex lead to ignoring someone? Yes. When they realize they can't direct you anymore, they may start ignoring you to maintain their sense of superiority. How should one handle someone with a superiority complex? It's important to set boundaries and not let their behavior affect your self-worth. You can't control how they feel, but you can control your response. Does the Bible offer any guidance on dealing with superiority complexes? Yes, Romans 12:3 tells us, "For by the grace given me I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you." This encourages humility and self-awareness. What are the long-term effects of a superiority complex on relationships? It can cause relationships to deteriorate. Over time, people might distance themselves from someone who constantly feels superior. Can someone overcome a superiority complex? Yes, but it requires self-reflection and a willingness to change. Recognizing the root cause of their behavior is the first step. What can you do if you're the one feeling superior? Acknowledge your feelings, understand where they come from, and work on fostering empathy and humility. How do you maintain a balanced relationship with someone who has a superiority complex? Communication and boundaries are key. Don't feed into their need for dominance, but instead, focus on mutual respect. Philippians 2:3 advises, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility value others above yourselves." Manage seems to be another significant factor. Why do people react negatively when they realize they can't direct you? Manage is about capability. When people can't direct you, it threatens their sense of power, leading to feelings of helplessness or resentment. How does this loss of control manifest? It can manifest as passive-aggressive behavior, distancing, or outright ignoring. Is this behavior more common in certain types of relationships? Yes. It's more common in relationships where one person has traditionally held more power or influence. How can one recognize when someone is trying to direct them? Look for signs like manipulation, guilt-tripping, or trying to read aloud your decisions and actions. How does the Bible address control issues? The Bible promotes free will and autonomy. 2 Corinthians 3:17 Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. This emphasizes the importance of maintaining personal freedom. How can one maintain healthy control in their own life without imposing it on others? Focus on self-discipline and personal growth rather than trying to direct external factors or other people. 1 Peter 5:6-7 encourages us to humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Now, let's discuss those who saw you from the beginning. How does your growth affect them? People who knew you when you were struggling might feel threatened by your success. It reminds them of their own stagnation, which can lead to resentment. Why is it hard for some people to accept that others have grown? It's challenging because it forces them to confront their own lack of progress or missed opportunities. How can we handle relationships with people who knew us before our growth? It's important to remain humble and empathetic. Understand that not everyone will be comfortable with your growth, and that's okay. Should we distance ourselves from people who can't accept our growth? Not necessarily. It depends on the relationship. If it's toxic or damaging, distance might be necessary. But if it's simply discomfort, time and understanding might help. How does Titus 2:7 relate to this situation? Titus 2:7 says, "In everything set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching show integrity, seriousness." Your growth should be seen as a testimony to God's work, but not everyone will view it that way. Why do some people choose to ignore you instead of celebrating your success? Ignoring is often easier than confronting their feelings of inadequacy or jealousy. It's a protection mechanism to protect themselves from the discomfort of seeing someone else succeed where they feel they haven't. How can you maintain your integrity when others begin to ignore you because of your success? By staying true to your values and not letting others' reactions dictate your behavior. Psalm 1:3 provides guidance. "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked or stands in the way that sinners take or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord." That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season. How should you respond if someone who used to support you suddenly starts ignoring you? Approach them with understanding. Sometimes, an honest conversation can help clear the air. Proverbs 15:1 reminds us, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." Is it common for success to change relationships? Yes, it's common. Success changes how people perceive you and can reveal underlying insecurities or issues in the relationship. How do you distinguish between those who are genuinely happy for you and those who are not? Actions speak louder than words. Genuine supporters will show consistent behavior over time, while others might be inconsistent or passive-aggressive. What advice would you give to someone who feels lonely after being ignored by friends due to their success? Remember that your worth isn't determined by others' approval. Surround yourself with positive influences and those who genuinely support you. Isaiah 41:10 offers comfort, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Can success make you lose friends? Unfortunately, yes. Success can sometimes expose hidden envy or insecurities, leading to strained or ended friendships. Should you try to win back those who start ignoring you? It depends. If the relationship is important and you believe it can be salvaged, a conversation might help. However, you shouldn't compromise your growth or integrity to win someone back. How do you cope with the emotional pain of being ignored by those you care about? Lean on your faith, seek comfort in positive relationships, and practice self-care. Psalm 34:18 reminds us, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Is there a point where you should stop trying to mend the relationship? Yes, if the other person is unwilling to change or continues to harm you, it may be best to let go. Matthew 7:6 advises, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." How can you grow stronger from this experience of being ignored? Use it as an opportunity for self-reflection and personal growth. Challenges often build resilience. Romans 5:3-4 says, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character. And character, hope." What can others learn from witnessing how you handle being ignored? They can learn the importance of grace under pressure, and that success doesn't have to lead to bitterness or division. Your example can inspire others to rise above similar situations. How does staying true to your values help in situations where you are being ignored? It ensures that you don't lose sight of who you are. Staying true to your values keeps you grounded, no matter how others react. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Finally, what's your key takeaway for anyone going through this? Remember that growth often comes with challenges, including losing people along the way. But your journey is your own, and staying true to your path is what matters most. As Hebrews 12:1 encourages, "Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith." Thank you, Smith, for sharing your wisdom on this topic. It's been enlightening and hopefully helpful to those listening. Thank you for having me, Leo. I hope this conversation helps people navigate the challenges of growth in relationships. And to our audience, remember that your growth is a blessing. Stay true to yourself, and don't be afraid to let go of relationships that no longer serve your journey. Until next time, take care. I hope you like my work. Thanks for watching Ninja Animations. May God bless you all, amen. See you tomorrow with a new topic. Take care everyone. Bye.